All right. There we go. Hey. Hey. I'm doing great.
I'm doing
Nice
splendid.
relaxing
I'm
evening.
spending the evening with some wonderful chaps.
Oh yes. Staying hydrated, of course.
Couldn't agree more.
Of course, stay hydrated, folks. Okay, so
I'm so dumb. Okay, there we go. Now I have sound,
All right.
and I'm just gonna say the
Alright.
entire thing over again.
All right.
No, they could hear you guys. But yeah, they couldn't hear me. So welcome, guys. After 15 plus minutes of Jello the Casual Card Gamer losing his freaking mind, we are. Oh, no one can hear any of us. That's weird.
Oh.
Huh.
oh, we're ghosts. We're ghosty goos.
Okay. Let's see. Can
Okay.
can you guys hear us now? Everyone, just start shouting.
Are we good?
I think so. I don't know.
Hello? Hello? Are we good?
Hello.
Yeah, I got it on my phone. I'm gonna check.
Oh,
Okay.
Move it away from
Row,
the
row,
microphone.
row your boat
Gently
gently down the stream.
we must harmonize.
Merrily, merrily, merrily,
Ah.
merrily, life is but a stream.
I think I
Row,
hear
row,
everyone.
row your
I'm
boat
listening on my
gently
phone.
down the stream.
Literally. So I was hearing Jello, but no one else.
Oh, that's weird. My desktop audio's on.
Oh
He's
no.
over-
Okay, I'm
he's
hearing
overtaking
everyone. I
our
got
sound.
everyone.
Here. Okay. Is everybody? We good?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
everything on my end's okay.
Okay. Fat guy says it is better now.
All right.
Awesome.
Perfect.
All right, guys. Welcome, finally. Oh my God. To episode 14 of In the Yugioh. I am Jello the Casual Card Gamer, and joining me tonight is GoldenNovaYugioh, Havre Card Man, and JC Theater YGO. I've already said this. But no one can hear me. So.
On three now.
row. No. Anyway, guys,
Okay.
we have a special guest, and his name is Havre Card Man. And today he is going to talk about one thing that I feel like has been missing from, the, how would I say, like the external sort of enjoyment of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I know that other hobbies like Warhammer, I believe Magic the Gathering also has some sort of this medium. But today he is on to give us a little rundown of what Yugioh Synthesis is. And for those of you that don't know what Yugioh Synthesis is, it is, I'm just gonna use the same joke that I used earlier because no one heard me. Do you guys love reading books or listening to stories about this wonderful game of Yu-Gi-Oh, but don't have the time to sit down and read the manga or sit down and read a book? Well, we have something wonderful for you guys. We have a sponsorship. They just don't know about the sponsorship. We're sponsored with them. They just don't know that, like we're with them. But we have sponsorship with Audible. So why sit down and read the book and use up your sense of sight for that one thing when you can sit down, turn on YouTube, and listen to a wonderful, wonderful story that is narrated by our very own GoldenNovaYugioh. And I don't know where else I'm going with this, but it is an audio How would I say this?
Drama.
Audio drama.
Audio drama. And it is Yu-Gi-Oh based, and it is actually really, really good. So you guys better go check that out after this show. But that's enough of me not knowing what I'm supposed to say. How are you guys doing?
Doing fantastic.
Doing swell. Just hanging out with some chaps this evening.
Awesome. What about you, JC?
Very, very fine chaps. I'm as well and having a fun time.
Awesome.
How are you, Jello?
Well, my blood pressure is still trying to get down, but other than that, I'm doing pretty well. But anyway, today we have a pretty good lineup of things to talk about, of course, with all special guests that we have on the show. We will have an interview so that we get to know them a bit better, so that you get to know them a bit better and the things that they're doing, as well as some of the new support that has been coming out and been revealed, namely the Ice Barrier structure deck, the Stardust Dragon support that was... I'm so sorry. I haven't eaten anything, but I feel like burping. But the Stardust Dragon support that's come out, and what else? What else was there? And the
Do-Re Mi chords
Do-Re
and
Mi chords, and the Abyss.
Yep.
And there was one more thing. I feel
The
like
Scrapter?
The Scrapter. I keep forgetting that. But anyway, that's what we're talking about tonight. And yeah, let's get straight into it. We are 20 minutes late.
That's okay.
But anyway, Havre Card Man, would you like to give a brief introduction of yourself to the audience?
Sure thing. So I am a fellow Yu-Gi-Oh content creator like these guys. I do all sorts of different stuff. I'm in like deck profiles, deck reviews. I used to do D-time like discussion videos on specific cards, but I moved those to blogs now. I'm also a creator in the Coalition of Scrubs, so I'm doing like constant uploads on a couple different channels, making all sorts of different videos. I just started a sealed only challenge too on my Machina deck, which is a lot of fun. But overall, I'm just kind of all over the Yu-Gi-Oh sphere, doing all sorts of like normal Yu-Gi-Oh content. And then, of course, like mentioned, I've been working on Yugioh Synthesis, my original fan-made audio drama.
Awesome. And what about my constant co-hosts, GoldenNovaYugioh and JC Theater YGO? How are you guys feeling for this interview?
I can't wait to pick the brain of such an esteemed creator. There aren't a lot of people who are I think the unique thing about the sphere that we're in right now is that a lot of people make content about a game that's made by someone else. So it's a lot of commenting on things that have been made by someone else. Out there and like write something new and put their own thoughts and ideas into that sphere. It takes a lot of guts, so I can't wait to talk about that. I think that a lot of good ideas can come out of that.
Awesome. And JC, what are you hoping to walk away from?
So I agree with what Novit said. Yeah. I plan to walk away from nothing, hopefully. I hope I'm not getting fired in this special edition of the
I cut off half
podcast.
of my sentence.
So I think it's very admirable, the amount of content and just the quality of like the diversity that Chris brings to the table. Like I read a Yu-Gi-Oh card and get a headache, and this guy is like editing and creating and like so many different aspects. I'm very excited just to hopefully I'm not a spiritual man by any means, but maybe some like creative energy, some workforce or something like some gumption will come through the interwebs and pour into me from this. That's what I'm hoping to get from this. And what about you, Jello? How are you feeling with this interview today?
I'm really excited, especially to learn more about synthesis, because I don't know if most of the viewers know this, but I graduated with a Bachelor of Arts in English, so I did a lot of literature and just a lot of creative writing, and I am a songwriter too. So whenever I see people create their own things through words, spoken word, or stories or things like that, it really does strike a chord with me. in a good way, if that's a bad saying. But anyway, yeah, I'm just super excited to learn more about all of this. So shall we start to learn more about Chris or Havre
All
Card
right.
Man, shall we? So to the audience members who have been with us for a long time, you guys know how this works. We write up a bunch of questions and then we ask them. And for those of you that don't know, we write up a bunch of questions and then we ask them. And we have, I believe, 7 questions for Chris today. And since Golden Nova has 3 of the 7, let's start with Nova.
Alrighty. Before we get started, Christian, thank you very much for sitting down with us about all this. I know it takes some time out of the day to do all of
Not a problem.
this and getting your information prepared. I'm gonna ignore that for a second, though. I have a question for the Sloth. What's your story, Sloth? Like, how'd you get all the way over to big YouTube times like that? You look pristine.
He's just lazy. He just likes sitting in the background trying to soak up all the credit he can, but he doesn't get any of it. We just let him think that he does.
As
It's okay.
sloths do.
Sloth's for you, always failing upwards. Okay. Anyway, so something that I like hearing about from a lot of players is how they first got into it. So how did you first get into Yu-Gi-Oh? And what's been your experience since you started? Like, have you had to fade in and out of it because of stuff, or have you just been mainlining since DM?
So I grew up and I kind of joined in during the GX era because I'm only 20 years old. So like I kind of got in a little bit late. But my area didn't really have anything in terms of like access to Yu-Gi-Oh. Basically, it was our local Kmart. It was like pre-Walmart even. We had that, like, I would just buy the mega tins from there, or like the old like tins at the time, and that was pretty much all I had. I sat at home and I just messed with the cards myself. I didn't really have anyone to play with or anything like that. Small town disease, you know. But I faded out about Pendulum era because I did end up playing with my brother after I got him into the game a few years later. And like I said, I played until about Pendulums came out, and then I just got confused, so I stopped playing because I was focusing on school. And I had all this other stuff to worry about. So I was like, you know what, I'm just not going to play this right now. So I dipped, and I played Magic for like the next 6 years. And then I ended up coming back to Yu-Gi-Oh! At the end of 2019, I think. Like, just the end of TOS format. Of the game again. That's how I came back.
It's a good debt to come back into. Prank kids are outstanding. I don't get to play them or touch them as much as I want to, but I really wanted to get into it whenever, like, what was it, that one regional or YCS where someone just swept house with Prank Kids and it was like Dance Stars on Thunder Drags? Like, yes, this is the new deck. We found the new best deck, and then no one did anything else with it.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. They just don't have the power that we do, though.
Exactly.
So what I'm most excited about, how did you come up with the idea for Yugioh Synthesis, and what inspirations are you drawing on to make this series?
So Yugioh Synthesis actually spawned. I started doing audio dramas a couple years back, and technically I only did one, and more specifically, I did one episode. I did one episode of a Halo Reach themed audio drama, and it wasn't like it was a take on like the grunts and like the lower tiers of the UNSC ranks. But
Love it.
I did one episode of it. I was super hyped about it, but then I also hit like a really weird kind of depressive phase, and I didn't want to create. It was like one of those periods of time where I just dipped out for like 6-8 months, and I just didn't make anything. So after I came back, I started doing the Havre Card Man. I started making more consistent content as just a normal YouTuber. I was like, you know, my main thing that I've wanted to do forever is be like a filmmaker, like somebody who tells their own stories. And I just kind of wanted to fuse Yu-Gi-Oh into it, and that I also started reading Edgar Allan Poe at the time, which I've always loved Edgar Allan Poe, but I got like really into it at that time. And so that's kind of been the big inspiration for at least the main character, Edgar. And once I had the main character, I just kind of started building the story off of that. I actually just did a whole talk over that on my other podcast episode like last week. But yeah, I ended up developing the character, developing the end episode and how I wanted it to be, and then just made the rest of the series from that pretty much.
I know this is a side question, and I feel like we've talked a lot about Yugioh Synthesis existing and all the things we're excited about. I don't think we've given the audience a synopsis about what the story is. So could you let everyone here know what to expect when they go check out the video?
So the best synopsis I can give you is that the story is about a man named Edgar the Raven King, who is a professor, author, and alcoholic and vigilante. It's probably about the best description I can give of this character. He roams the streets of Eventides, trying to keep everything safe, acting as kind of like a Batman figure without a mask. He's just more like straight to the point. I'm just gonna get the bad guy, let the police get him, and leave. Basically, I don't want to give up like too much of the main story because it will unfold over the course of the 3 seasons of the show. But at least like that's kind of like the main thing that you really didn't know is that Edgar is that guy.
Awesome.
Outstanding. Love me some Yu-Gi-Oh Batmans, especially those Yu-Gi-Oh Batmans use prank kids. That's the most important part.
So another part of like the inspiration for the show was, of course, since I grew up on GX, that was my favorite anime. And I loved the whole like Wing Karibo dual spirit aspect of it. So I had to fuse my own little bit of that into the show, which was where the prank kids came in to be the dual spirits for Edgar. And there's going to be some special surprises involving them later on in the series. But once again, I'm not going to get into that yet just because of spoilers, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
Gotta leave a little something for him for future episodes, know what I'm saying?
Yep, pretty much. So.
Oh, okay, so the last thing that I had on my my roster is if you had all the time in the world to make a video of any kind, what would you make?
So I actually started this a while ago. I made planning for it. I did start collecting a few clips. I didn't follow through with it very much, but my thing was to create a documentary on Yu-Gi-Oh players, and mostly to be like a showcase of why we enjoy the game so much and like why it's such a big part of our lives. Because of course, all these big Yu-Gi tubers, like we're playing this game all the time. Like we absolutely love it. I swear I've got Yu-Gi on my head 24/7. It's kind of sad at this point, but I wanted to just make like a 30-minute documentary to showcase that, like go through a brief history of the game and how it's evolved over the years and how people feel about it and like what, kind of COVID has done to it and, see how it is in present day and just how the game has kind of evolved throughout the years.
No, that's incredible.
No, you're good.
I'm very inspired right now because I think one of the things that we've talked about as a community recently is that people keep recycling content. Like everyone's doing a progression series, everyone's doing like that, and then Christian walks in here and is like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna make an audio drama and I want to make a documentary."
Yeah, pretty much.
You've got it. You've got the energy's there. The ideas are there. So I don't. It's unfair that you don't have the attention.
Yeah, I have too much of a history in film that, like, I get your point of seeing the recycled content. That was something that kind of bothered me from day one coming back into all this is, I didn't want to be the guy that made deck profiles all the time, so I started making deck reviews. That was kind of my way to start branching out and doing a little bit different content. The same thing with the D times. And I just, ever since I started doing YouTube, and I've been trying to find like ways to create different types of content, at least in my editing, if nothing else. But yeah, no, I definitely see your point on that. And it's something that this community does need to work on a little bit. But the content that we got is still pretty good for the most part. We just need some new ideas.
Well, thank you very much. That was everything that I had on my docket. Who will be brave enough to continue the interview questions from here?
JC.
Okay.
Throwing him under the bus. I love it.
Yep.
Damn.
No, it's.
Critical
I
hit.
mean, I feel like it's natural to just like want to go last to like I don't know,
Yeah.
but like obviously like it's not like a nervous thing because we're just like
It's
gaining
okay.
knowledge,
Only
but-
he bites. Only he.
So I will preface this with saying I sometimes get long-winded because I want to add as much context as possible to my questions. So bear with me. Try to remember what I'm asking because it'll be a few paragraphs. Here we go. So I understand what you did mention, and I also went on your Instagram and kind of like, did a deep dive, scrolled to the bottom to kind of learn more about you. And so you are not only behind the camera lens, but also, as you mentioned again, the deck reviews. So you're behind the camera, you edit videos such as like in the style of your deck reviews, with a lot of like image based like editing. I don't know exactly the word for that versus like just like editing video clips, but you know what I mean, more just like images and like animations and stuff like that. Yeah. And then of course you're working on synthesis, which is a whole other animal with like audio and stuff like that. So camera work, like being behind the camera and filming, editing visuals, and editing sound, where would you rank those on best to worst, or worst to best? We'll save best for last. And that means not necessarily like worst is like the most time put in, but like time versus reward. Like if one's the hardest but also the most fun for you, of course that might be the best. But where do you rank those? Because I hate all forms of editing and all that stuff. I just like thinking about but the amount of work you put in on all this stuff. I want to hear from someone who actually I hope you enjoy it anyway. For your sake, I truly hope you enjoy. Perfect.
So I guess what you're trying to say is like what's worth investing the most time into. Then I'm guessing is what you're talking about.
You. Yeah.
So
for you personally, yeah.
It really does depend on the type of content that you're making, but overall, I feel that audio is actually the most important because when you consider how much of modern society will just turn something on for the background, like just to listen to, at that point, your visuals become irrelevant. So your audio is everything. If you don't have clear, crisp, clean audio that people, it's going to lose a lot of attention, especially because that's where most of your information is coming from anyways. Because presenting information on screen is making very concise points that are well written and thought out beforehand. So you're presenting most of your information audibly rather than visually. The visuals are just enhancements. So I think really first it does have to go to audio. And so you had audio visuals, and what was the other one? I'm sorry, I forgot already.
And then just like filming, kind of just like being behind the camera and filming like live action stuff. Okay. As opposed to just, like getting animations and images from like the internet.
So all right, at that point I gotta say audio is definitely number one. Obviously, editing is gonna come second, and anything live action I think is honestly completely third. Because there's so many types of videos where live action filming is completely irrelevant. Like you look at the type of content I do where my face isn't even in there at all. I'm not showing any real life cards. I know Nova does a lot of videos like that too, where you're just showing a lot of stuff on screen rather than like your actual face, because that's not what people came there for. That'd be part of your videos. But if your whole point of being there is to inform people, having that extra visual is like really not necessary. Now, for stuff where it's a little bit more intimate, say like my sealed only challenge, that's where it's kind of a different story because I don't really throw a whole lot of extra graphics or editing into that. So at that point, I say the live is more important because it's a more intimate connection between me and the viewers of me showing them like, hey, this is what I'm opening out of all these contents, like all these sealed products, and I'm sharing this with you. I'm sharing this experience with the viewer live. I'm not just like voicing something and then editing stuff on top of it. It depends on what context it is, whether you're like looking for something a little bit more intimate, if you're looking for something informative, educational, or entertaining. It really just depends on like the style. But yeah, for me personally, it's got to go audio, editing, and then live action. But yeah, you guys take that with a grain of salt. Do it however you want. But that's how it's worked best for me, I think. And really, I love the editing the most. So that's what I really like to focus on.
Perfect. I think that not only was very informative, but specifically the audio, because personally, I would say about 70% of like YouTube that I watch is like while I'm doing dishes or folding laundry or something. Like, so I definitely, I think that's a very good observation that I do just turn it on and don't look at it, but it never clicked for me. So I'm actually going to probably take that into consideration a little bit with my editing myself. So thank you. Yeah. But now, onto the second question, which is definitely geared more towards Yugioh Synthesis. Okay. So as we're all aware, a big, not downside, but a challenge of YugiTube in general is that we're in this kind of bubble, right? There's a niche, there's a ceiling to how far Yu-Gi-Oh content will go. In addition, you're also forming that with another niche genre of an audio drama. So similar to my first question, I hope you can gather from what I'm trying to articulate, because I might stumble upon the words. But in your opinion, are you trying to focus more on gaining the attention immediately of the audio drama scene and lure them over to the Yu-Gi-Oh fan base? Are you trying to get the Yu-Gi-Oh fan base and luring them over to the audio drama like style? Or are you just trying to tackle both audiences at once? Like, what have you thought about that process on how they are two? Obviously there's a merge between the audiences, but you are trying to get like two different audiences together for this project.
So this is 100% trying to draw both audiences, but it is definitely more tailored towards like the actual players who maybe like grew up on the anime and whatnot, because that's the situation I'm in. But something I learned across the years of like learning how to be a content creator and like get a good amount of growth is to find like a very specific. They've already been filled by like so many different people that have already been doing that for a while. If you get in that very specific niche where almost nobody exists, you're definitely a lot more likely to get your following there. And it's really great if it's like a mix of two niches, because then you can draw from both of those, obviously. And I've definitely noticed that in Yu-Gi-Oh! Synthesis so far, already starting off. Like, this is probably the most rapid growth I've seen from a channel in a while. And I thought the Havre Card Man was going to blow me out of water, but I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Synthesis is actually kind of taking the cake on this one. But yeah, no, this is definitely more tailored towards like the Yu-Gi-Oh! Players that grew up watching the anime and have kind of felt a little bit disappointed in recent times, like especially with Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s. I've heard a lot of people that have been talking about how it's too childish for them and too, tailored towards a new generation of Yu-Gi-Oh! Players. So I was like, well, this is the perfect time to come out with one that was tailored towards the original generation, the more mature audiences. And that's why it does include things like blood, gore, swearing, all this other different stuff, alcoholism. There's plenty of stuff in there like that, and I always give a viewer discretion at the beginning of the audio drama, just so I don't have any issues with that. But yeah, I definitely did plan that ahead of time, that like I wanted to make sure that I had that very specific niche that I wanted, and I tailored it towards the right people, which is why I've not only created a Twitter page for Yu-Gi-Oh! Synthesis itself, but I also created a Twitter page for the main character, Edgar, just to have some silly interactions with and just be more promotional towards that group.
Perfect. That definitely answers.
Calling that guy out. I'm calling him next time I'm on stream. That Edgar's getting on my nerves.
He's just looking for an opponent, man. Don't hate on the guy. He just wants a good duel.
And I'll give it to him. I'm ready.
Yeah, bring your ice barriers. See what they can do.
Perfect. That answers both my questions. Wait, what?
JC will bring the ice.
No, he'll bring the glass of water with the 3 copies of...
Still have
it's
them.
It's just their natural habitat. I can't blame you. It's where they belong.
I mean, what else are you gonna do?
I don't want to put
of the thing anyway.
Exactly.
I don't want to put fault on anyone, but I did think of the entire skit and video from watching Nova's video on going over all the ice days explained. So if fault travels to anyone,
hey,
come to me then.
I'm touched. And also, why would you throw me under the bus like that?
Yeah, not gonna call you out, but I'm gonna call you out.
But
love it.
Oh man, that's so funny.
And last but not least, though, we have Jello and his questions for the Havre Card Man here.
All right. So to all the viewers that are watching right now, if you've watched any of our older episodes of the show where we had guests on, JC always has the more in-depth questions, and then mine are sort of like, so that's how it is. We're ending on moment. So you already mentioned that Yu-Gi-Oh! Synthesis is kind of like your brainchild of childhood nostalgia mixed with a wanting to have like an urge to have a more mature story for like the aging population that is the first generation of Yu-Gi-Oh! Players. But what are your other main roles on Yu-Gi-Oh! Synthesis? Like I know from listening to the first episode that GoldenNova is also on the team. So what else do you do behind the scenes for this? Like, do you have a team for like writing and everything, or is like all that already done and you're just looking for voice actors and stuff?
Unfortunately, since I don't have any sort of a budget for this project, everything kind of falls on me. So that's why it's only a once a month you get an episode, because I am the writer, the director, the editor, the producer. I do everything. I do have a couple of writers on hand that I send like the scripts, like the drafts to them for references. I just have them look over it and like, give me thoughts and stuff. And then I do have actually huge thanks to JS Cards. He is currently my main composer right now for creating the music for the channel. He actually just launched his own copyright-free music, which is super awesome. But yeah, he did the entire theme from scratch. I just added sound effects and stuff onto it as fluff to make it seem more like an anime intro, given that it's what I'm working with without visuals. Mm-hmm. But yeah, for the most part, I'm handling pretty much everything from beginning to end. And it's a very fun process. I very much do enjoying it. And I have everything like planned out ahead of time so that hopefully I can stick to a schedule pretty easily. But let me tell you, it gets tough. It's roughly a 2-week turnaround for editing, once I get all of the voice lines in, which I did just have to go to Casting Call Club, unfortunately, and just get whoever was ready and available for voice acting for free, because once again, I don't have a budget, so I can't afford to pay anyone. But I think overall, so far, it's actually been working out really well. The team I have with me is really great. They're really good at getting all their lines in online. Their delivery is awesome. Nova being one of them. You are an awesome narrator. It's been a good time so far. The whole team is super nice. Everyone's super interactive, and we've been having a good time.
Awesome. You should get Eldritch on to do some of the voice acting. I know GoldenNova has a pretty good relationship with him.
All right. I might have to consider that now. Judging by the look on his face.
Don't you take those ideas. Don't listen to him. No.
So, and earlier you mentioned that you already had like season 1, 2, and 3 developed, but I just wanted to ask you again to see if you could go into more detail without spoiling any major plot points. But how far has the story developed, right, like as it is right now? And are there any plot points that you would be able to share with us? Like how in depth have your 3 seasons gone into? Are you thinking of making more seasons after that, or is it sort of like wrapped already?
So the show is completely wrapped at 3 seasons. I had planned that from the beginning, because what I like to do is I plan out the very end scene, and I know that that's going to be the very end of it, and then I just plan everything backwards from there. Okay. Every episode is actually planned out like in detail. Scripts and like all the dialogue and actions to be completely written out. That's all they're missing right now. Otherwise, everything is completely planned out and ready to go. And I think it should be finished, like releasing everything within the next 3 years, a little bit under 3 years, because it's 10 episodes a season, and I'm trying to keep a once a month episode pacing. If I get more time, I'll try to like push that upwards a little bit, but as of right now, that's what we got. As for what I can reveal right now, in episode 1, a few things have been revealed. Once again, the fact that Edgar is a professor, he's an author, alcoholic, he's a vigilante, and his main villain has also been revealed, the Crow, which more will be revealed about him within the next coming episodes. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. We've also seen one of the Crow's, I guess, minions coming out, the Shade being his first villain that he's up against, which is, I'll just let you guys know right now, it's not really going to be a big spoiler, but this first duel will take over the first 3 episodes, technically. So that's something to look forward to. I'm trying to keep the idea of like the original Yu-Gi-Oh anime of having a little bit of a duel in every episode, but I will skip here and there for plot reasons, because I do want the plot to be there. I don't want everything to just be all dueling and all action. And since it is based off of more modern Yu-Gi-Oh, of course, the duels are a lot quicker. So I'm trying to kind of keep those spaced out where I can and not like drag them on too long, but keep them short enough that, it's an awkward balance given how I'm trying to do this. But I think so far it's working pretty good.
Awesome. And I just have one request, if you could fit it in somehow, because of just because of what's been happening in Out of the Box. It's a shameless plug, sorry guys. But it's my channel. So I've been using harpies, and they have sort of like an in archetype field EMP basically. So I was wondering if you'd be able to like, fit in a duel where one of the characters uses a harpy deck and then just slams the harpy's featherstorm 3 turns in a row. And see how characters would interact. Because
actually, I think I have an episode in season 2 that could work perfect for that. I'd have to shift things around, but it'd be easy enough to do, to be honest. I think that was actually like the episode that I planned to have it be a beatdown for. So
awesome.
I think that might actually work. I can definitely consider that for sure.
All right, and I think that's it for the interview. Thank you so much for giving us the painted picture of Yugioh Synthesis, and I'm super excited for the next episode to come out.
No problem. Glad.
Episode 2 plan.
Okay, so episode 2 might actually be a problem because it's supposed to come out this Saturday. But as of right now, there are currently some scheduling issues. So it's kind of up in the air at the moment to see how things are going because, unfortunately, one of the voice actors happens to be in the affected area of the winter storms right now.
Oh,
and he currently does not have power.
Yeah.
He's been messaging me. I've been making sure everyone's staying safe. Everything's okay with them so far, but they're currently out of power and Wi-Fi. So
yikes.
the episode 2 might be delayed just a little bit. But I'm sure everyone will understand for the sake of, human safety.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
So-
no, definitely.
Okay. And I just wanted to ask, this is completely off script, but how do you go about the recordings? Do you just give the lines to the voice actors and they do it in isolation, or do you have them in like a voice chat and you're listening while they're going on and you just like tell them to cut or stuff in the middle?
So what I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to have dedicated dates for all of us to get together and do an online table read where we all kind of like go through the script. We all get our ideas down of like how the scenes are supposed to play out, like, different inflections, tones, how things are supposed to go overall, like a normal actual like scripted television series goes.
Yeah.
But I've been pretty lax for the most part. I'm aware that everyone has jobs. It's a lot of odd scheduling issues because we got people in other countries as well, so trying to schedule everything like that. So I just send out everyone the script. I give them a due date for it. And I let them know, like, hey, if you guys can't make this due date, just message me ahead of time. Let me know why. It's not a big deal. But for the most part, everyone's been really good about sticking to date. Even if they get in, like, last second, it's fine. But, yeah, pretty much everyone's been sticking to it pretty good. I just send them out the script, and they all record it on their own.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, guys, so that is it for the interview. I think I said this like 30 seconds ago. But, let's get straight into what's been going on in the card game lately. So, unless you guys have been living under a rock, or in my case, under a pile of snow in negative 20 degrees Celsius weather.
Hopefully not under a war rock.
Ooh.
Anyway, the ice barrier structure.
Adam Emancipator's typing in chat.
There can only be one rock. They're not even rocks.
Right.
But
yeah, that's the most disappointing part.
But anyway, the Freezing Chain structure deck just dropped. I believe it was just this week. And I haven't been too keen on watching what it does, because people have just been saying it doesn't do anything. But maybe 20-30 minutes before we met for the pre-show, I caught the first couple of minutes of Team Samurai X1's competitive deck list, and it ran a bunch of Deep Sea Divas, and I wasn't even listening to the thing. I was just like I was just fast forwarding every 10 seconds, like okay, Deep Sea Divas, and I'm like, okay, I don't have these, so exit video. But what do you guys think of the new deck? JC, you go last, because of your crimes. But I'm kidding, guys. Joey and I are friends. So and I know that he has like a bajillion copies of Trishula, so it's fine. Guys, don't worry. Okay. But yeah, what do you guys think of the new structure deck that just dropped? Whoever wants to go first.
I, for one, support JC's decision to make a smoothly out of Trishula. There's a lot of protein in there that you can't get out there unless you really like grind it in the food processor. So good on you for that innovative recipe. But moving on from the nutrition, it's fine. It wouldn't be the first structure deck that was released and then didn't make a huge splash. I'm looking at you, Charmers. But like, the deck does have a combo where you can make 0 Trishula out of a couple of cards, and it banishes 3 cards non-targeting. Hey, get out of here!
Don't you dare diss my babies!
No one.
I still got 5 of them left.
Oh my god!
archive them, put them in a time capsule, and it'll be things in Yu-Gi-Oh that didn't matter.
Oh boy.
I kid. If you like Charmers, you enjoy, but the empirical data shows that we're not seeing very many people taking them to. Well, I guess it's not fair
At
to say
least
taking them to
Charmers
events
had
now.
good
Considering everything's
reprints.
online. Hey! You're right. Hey.
Yeah, that Effect Veiler reprint. Oh my god, we really needed that one.
If we had the evenly matched reprint out of the Ice Barriers, if they had kept that in, I might have bought it. But honestly, I'm glad I held my breath on this one.
Yeah. No, like Zero Trishula is a house. Like banishing non-targeting banishing 3 cards is an effective way to open up like a hole in your opponent's defenses. And we have more ways to non-destroy and remove cards than ever. So no steppy effect isn't quite as threatening, but it's not a monster that's effectively shrinking your entire field and blanking all their effects as long as they're on the field. And that can be scary, just, in GOAT format.
Yeah, pretty much. I'll give credit to the new Trish, but honestly, overall, because that's generic, right? You can throw that in like any deck that can synchro summon.
Completely generic.
So otherwise, the entire deck, you need like all the water support in the world to make that deck function. At that point, just play Marincess. Like, if you want to play water, just play Marincess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Put that in some Plunder Patrol weirdness.
There you
See
go.
how it goes in
See,
there.
I like Plunder Patrol. I'd much rather play that than Ice Barriers. Oh boy, yeah. I don't know. Like Ice Barriers seems to be like way too reliant on that the new monster that like summons out another one from the deck and then locks you into water. So it's like, okay, I can do Fibrax and Trish. Here we go.
Boom.
Yeah.
Out of here.
That's about all I see the deck doing, though. To be honest, it's not very crazy.
And Mr. Smoothie Man, what do you
Thank
think?
God they reprinted Fiendish Chain.
Oh yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, needed that one.
All right, go ahead, JC.
I think the biggest takeaway from the entire Structured X release for Freezing Chains is the fact that funny enough, Team Samurai X1's competitive $30 variant, when you take 3 Structured X, he specifically said, I'm playing, of course, 1 Trishula because it is limited, and followed that up by playing 3 DeLoreans. DeLoreans.
What?
Which is...
Man's forgot.
So,
no
disrespect to him, I've made worse mistakes by far, but that was a very funny thing pointed out to me. Someone posted on Facebook or something, and as we were speaking, I like scrubbed through the video to make sure. And yes, there are 3 DeLoreans right next to a single Trishula there. I don't know. I think that's the funniest little the most joy you could get from the structure is that little interaction.
I mean, at least he didn't have a meme made about him about playing in the Imperm Zone. That's at least Team Sam's got that going for him. Thanks from the deck. Thank you.
Oh boy.
Yep. Too many times. Too many times it gets brought up.
Oh man.
I'm gonna start insisting that I can put a counter on the zone and be like, and that's the Imperm Zone. And now I know how to play there.
Yeah, if only that I could do that in EDO Pro. If I could do that in EDO Pro, we'd be fine.
Yeah. I just take a marker and be all like, and that zone is not playable. Oh no.
Oh man.
Oh boy.
Let's see. What do I think about it? I think it's okay. It is some more nostalgia baiting, but like I believe people just like hated this back then, so I don't really know what they were thinking. This was the winner of a structure deck poll though, right? Or am I
By the OCG.
Yeah. So Japan
OCG voted it in. It was purely a meme.
It's clearly thinking something different from what
It didn't even
are.
Didn't even win, right? Because it was like the top 2 made it. So it was Charmers and then Ice Barriers. So it didn't even win,
Well,
and it
no,
made it in
Sacred
there.
Beast was the other winner, wasn't it?
That was a
The other
separate
one was
pool that-
Shadol.
Was it
Shadol
separate?
and
Okay.
Sacred Beast was
Okay, fair
and
enough.
the next one was Charmless. So that effectively means that by way of voting, Frozen X. Thank you. Good night. My political. Thank you.
I also want to point out something very important. The OCG has gotten 2 voting polls for structure decks, where the winner and runner-up has become an actual full over 40 card structure deck, and we haven't received our Inzector.
That's a buzzkill. I forgot all about that, to be completely honest.
Yeah, that's what
Buzz.
Oh man.
Just a good old sting in the neck, you know?
We can stop with the insect jokes now. I don't like bugs. I have a very bad history with bugs.
Sorry to bug you.
Sorry to crawl all over your day there, buddy.
I'm turning off the no, I'm kidding.
All right. Hey, fair enough.
Bye, everyone.
I just wanted to go through the chat real quickly. I normally do a much better job of acknowledging people that are talking to us through the internet, but yeah, here we go. So, Fat Guy Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh my god, we have GoldenNovaYugioh in here. Larry20, if you're still here, hello. Terrio Frost, what's up? Zero asked about our thoughts about modern ice barriers, and we got that. King Scarlet was in here for a sec. Don't know if he's still here, but he said, "Stay tuned for my Macadamia Nut Plays Yu-Gi-Oh series to bring in the foodies and Yugis. Gotta hit them niches." This was what we were talking about.
Yep.
Oh man. Fat Guy says, "A Pointer of the Red Lotus is the best card in the structure deck." Genesis Yu-Gi-Oh says, "Hey, first time catching one of these. I thought I'd miss it because I was messing with my dogs, but I'm here. Welcome to the show. Sorry that your first one had to,
Hey,
had to
all
be
right.
a train wreck. And it's all my fault, by the way. R.I.P. for not giving us crossed out designator. Yeah, that was like, I don't know if it was.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was just wishful thinking on my part, but when they said that when the set list for Blazing Vortex came out and crossout designator wasn't in there, I was kind of hopeful that it was going to be in the structure deck, but capitalism. Anyway,
We need that card.
Capitalism again.
Give it to me. I need
Shadal's Sacred Beast and Charmers. Second one was Ice Barriers,
Yep.
Cyber Style, and one other. And Larry is still here. It's good to know you're still here, Larry. Thank you for being one of the ones. But anyway, we are now caught up. And what do we have next on the menu, boys? Because I forgot.
So, I know you do not like bugs.
I don't.
Because recently, some, transition.
Oh, that was so clean. God.
I approve.
Well, it's either that or how do you feel about progression chords, I guess, or scales or arpeggio?
Progression chords. That's my new series, folks.
The danger noodles have come.
Yeah, so how are we feeling about a little context, of course, Ancient Guardians, the latest like deck build pack in the OCG. We already heard all about Beararctic, Bear's deck.
Beararctic? Yeah, I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't read cards, including the names. So, but Abyss, of course, their effects were revealed since the last time we had a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. What are your thoughts, Jello? You went last on the ice barrier, so you could start with the how you feel about the snake guys.
So I forgot what they all do. But to my knowledge, they are kind of splashable in chaos. So I'm sort of wondering how that will go. But I'm not really looking forward to seeing how they work. I'm more sort of drawn to the progression scale, the do re mi chords, just because I am a musician, and as much as I hate doing scales, this deck has made me want to try to finally learn how to play a pendulum deck. So there's that. I watched Triff's video on Do-Re-Mi chords, and they seem really fun. Their smaller monsters have protection effects, I believe, and then the bigger monsters just it's more protection or something, or like they get to blow stuff up. But yeah, I'm excited for. I'm more excited for Do-Re-Mi chords. Not as excited for Abyss. Like it's not that I don't like them at all. It's just on my excitement scale, Do-Re-Mi chords are up at at the top scale. But what makes me hype for this at all is that I know that we're going to be playing this on Out of the Box at some point. So yeah, that's it. That's my 2 cents. What about you guys?
So for me personally, with Abyss, I don't know. It's janky. That's what I like about it, because I play a lot of like really weird janky decks, and I'm already working on trying to find a way to throw them together with the Bear Ticks, because I don't know. I feel like they have some interest, given their high levels and ability to just dump a whole bunch of stuff to graveyard. So I don't know. I'm kind of intrigued to see how it all plays out as of right now, with not having any extra deck resources for them and not really doing a whole lot on their own. Abyss is kind of lackluster, but it could be an interesting control deck down the road. I don't know. I'm waiting to see how it all plays out and how my buddy Dank breaks it, because he always finds ways to do stupid things like that. I don't get it.
All right.
Nova, you can take this one first.
So I want to be excited about Abyss, because the idea of just spamming a bunch of high-level serpents out of the grave, and then making like I'm worried that this is going to turn into some kind of chaos variant, because they, instead of making them like waters, because they kind of got like Nile kind of thing going on, they had to make them lights and darks. So let's just throw a whole bunch of them into the graveyard and see how many
of them we can manage.
I don't know, the new chaos stuff we can tech in there.
Even Earth would have worked,
so
to be honest. You could just argue that they're sand, so it's Earth. Like, okay, that would have been fun.
That too. Yeah, but no. So I'm afraid that that's going to get co-opted that way. But I am curious to see if there are other kinds of variants or other kinds of tech cards people are going to put in there so they can play it pure. Like, I think it'll be funny if we find people playing Soul Release specifically to neuter your opponent's graveyard, and then just start playing up your combos, being like, "Oh, it's a shame that you can't special summon anything, fool. That Gillosaurus thing is looking pretty snazzy now."
Right.
But I do think that what is it? The boss monster, Ogdibus, that just like sends everything that wasn't special summoned from the graveyard. It does not have its own. It doesn't have a summoning restriction. So if you can like land it, and then like, I don't have the tribute 3 monsters, I'll just flip back to the front and then board wipe you.
Yeah.
It's like, and then you get to keep it. Like, sorry, what?
Yeah, that is a little bit crazy. I didn't even think about that one.
So I'm looking forward to that. And Do-Re-Mi chords just look like a fun, I would almost say entry-level pendulum deck. Because it doesn't do anything ridiculously crazy. No, yeah, there's no, like, as far as I can tell, there's no crazy what numbers your scales are, and then some other battle effects. And then you can just spam a whole bunch of them. The only thing that they need to be for them, and in before Electromite coming back.
Yeah.
Look at chat. Look at me. So yeah,
No Electromite. No Electromite for any of you. Sorry, it's not happening.
No, it's not. But if they can get a reasonable Link monster, and you can kind of use, I don't know if Dark Lord, Condemned Dark Lord is a thing that they're going to seriously use, but 2 fairies, gives you 2 link points, good for pendulum summoning. Yeah, I look forward to it. A nice tempo beat down pendulum deck that doesn't revolve around loop.
Yeah.
To get like 5 negates. Seems like that'll be pretty fun. on a personal side note for our out-of-the-box games, it's going to be hilarious that the person who runs no monsters to negate with any of the, except like maybe King of the Feral Imps. So that's going to be great.
Yeah, it's surprising how little text is on Do Re Mi chords. You can tell that pendulum monsters aren't going to have much power if they don't have a whole lot of text.
Yeah.
What it takes to be a part of the pendulum gang.
If you're not setting a new world record for the most cards on a Yu-Gi-Oh, most text on a Yu-Gi-Oh card, then you're doing something wrong as a pendulum card.
Yeah, if you can't beat Eminem and Rap God when reading off your card text, I'm sorry, you're not a pendulum player.
JC.
To get out of chat. Get out.
What is this?
It's not that.
What's JC saying now? Hold on. No.
What is
this close to swearing, you.
No! Zero electrolyte.
Okay, so I can forgive the blender. Okay, this I cannot. I've just pinned it so that everyone can ostracize you as they come into the chat.
This is a war crime, JC. This is against the Geneva Convention. Next thing you know, he's gonna say astrograph to 3, and then we're just gonna have to immediately throw him in the flames. I mean, what?
Got Mussolini on that. Don't you even think about it.
Oh man. Anyway,
okay.
Who's next? I believe JC hasn't said anything about them yet.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So to go off the attribute thing, I just want to say that wind, because like snakes are green in my mind when I think of a snake. So there you go. Konami had literally no excuse to give them dark and light attributes. I think they're very fun. They seem fair in a way that like they seem good, but not like this is going to break the game. Of course I say that, and it's probably going to do something. I've heard talks with like Layer of Darkness being something that you could use with the deck, and of course like King of the Feral Imps and like stuff like that. And of course the elephant in the room, I think someone probably mentioned it but it didn't click to me, but Snake Rain, which is being reprinted in the set. Finally we have a use for the card, but in a relatively like fair way, in terms of like I'm not mad at it, you know, like this deck doesn't seem like super busted with Snake Rain, despite Snake Rain being as busted as it is, you know, like with a super ultra foolish burial. But I think that's pretty good. Do Re Mi chords, they feel like and I hope this comes across to other people, but I get the same energy as like Dino Mist, where like the there's like two different kinds of pendulums in a way to keep track of, which like again I hate to self-deprecate so much, but I just don't have the mental capacity to deal with like cards that have different gimmicks. I need an archetype that does like one thing. I need an archetype that does one thing, but there's like a Stratos and then like a special summon from graveyard, and then that's it, you know. So when all this other stuff comes into play, I'm a little confused. But I read all of them and they seem okay, I guess. And I do see where everyone's coming from in terms of the Do Re Mi cards not being like super confusing pendulum stuff. It's more straightforward, which is definitely good. So I think those are good, and I think I don't know which one, again, to plug out of the box a little bit. I don't know which one I'm leaning towards if I were to have like first choice or anything like that, but I definitely don't hate any of them. I think probably Do Re Mi chords is like last place though, just because again, they don't reach out to me like stand out, I guess I should say, as something super good. But that's my thoughts. And I think because I started the conversation, I bounced between everyone, but I mentioned Abyss, so I don't think Havre has talked about Do Re Mi chords, because I think he was following my prompt, but then the rest of us kind of talked both at once. So Havre, Do Re Mi chords,
that's totally
good
fine.
Or bad?
Really quick before I get into that, on the side note, you know what deck does all the things that you want, JC, that you just mentioned? Prank Kids. Prank Kids does all of those things. Just want to let you know. Anyways, Do Re Mi chords. Yeah, I do. They're going to be an interesting pendulum deck. I started off with pendulum on Endymion, which is probably the wrong way to go because I didn't understand like any of it. But yeah, I think it is definitely going to be good for the entry level and jankier tier, like more casual style players, which is more of what we're seeing right now anyway, since there's not any like super big competitive scenes at the moment. But I think overall, it's going to be kind of cool, and they might introduce more support down the line too, that'll make them even more relevant. I do like the not, or like that they can't be countered clause, or it's going to be very interesting for the deck. Add a little bit of spice. But yeah.
So, just a closing thing on this whole topic. I don't think that the entire set list for this set has been revealed yet, right? So we still have a bunch of reprints that we haven't seen, and correct me if I'm wrong, but Ancient Guardians doesn't come out until April, right?
That sounds right. It got pushed back, didn't it?
Yeah, it was supposed to come out in March, and then it got pushed back.
April sounds accurate from the last that I heard, but I don't know.
It is May 6th.
Wow.
May 6th.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So maybe it was originally April then, or maybe it was March. I don't know.
And
no, that makes sense. 1 month afterwards.
Yeah.
And Lightning Overdrive is also in May, isn't it?
It's June. They moved it to June.
Oh my god. Okay. I can buy more Cardfight Vanguard stuff. Great. Awesome.
Yeah, if I remember, June 14th is a specific date for that one.
Yeah. And just the one thing that I want to point out is the ban list is supposed to drop in March, isn't it?
Yep, and like not even 2 weeks. Wow, it's like a week and a half away now.
So hear me out. Hear me out. So they banned they released Bardiche from banned Hell right before Phantom Rage to sell the set. So hear me out. What if they unban Electromite and reprint it in this set to sell it?
I'll be sad.
The only situation I can see as acceptable is if they somehow, because I think the 2 pendulums is a little bit too generic. It should almost be like 2 monsters including 1 heavy or like 1 metal foes, I think, to make it actually like for the archetype. Because as is, it's way too generic for the entire pendulum like era. It's just it's too much.
Yeah. Well,
otherwise, I don't see it.
Oh man. Maybe if they ever did that.
Getting mad at me.
If they ever did that, I'm shotgunning that for out of the box.
All right.
Larry 27.
You're in the position. You could do it.
Okay.
Larry, am I good? Am I good on audio? Should I talk closer to the mic?
Oh, I don't know if you guys have seen this on Twitter yet, but Fat Guy Yu-Gi-Oh has already hit us up and tagged us saying that he will report you, JC, for the Electromite 3. Took a screenshot of the chat.
Oh man,
Man's is
We're
on
the one
it.
to bring you in.
We're trending. Awesome.
Don't worry, you got witnesses. We got you. We're right behind you, bro.
Oh man. Anyway, is there anything else on this set that you guys wanted to talk about? Because, yeah, I mean, there isn't really that much to look forward to, in my opinion.
I mean, I'm gonna be very optimistic about this because there's been like no hint for it whatsoever. But I am really praying that this is gonna be the set that we get the evenly matched reprint. I highly doubt it's gonna happen, but I need it. I need it so bad. And I feel like this would be the perfect product. They release it last second as like that last minute hype for the set. And I'm really hoping that's what's going to happen here. I don't care if it's a secret rare. A reprint is a reprint. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Man, I'm just, if they release it as, This is the same format as Genesis Impact, though, right? So
so it'll be an ultra, probably collect.
I'm gonna have to get a 4th box.
Oh boy.
Let's see. I just honestly
wondering
I just
about
really hope. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Unless you're moving on to the next one, I have one more thing, but you can go on if we're not moving on.
Okay. I just hope that they bring back the old style of the side sets, because I really don't like this new one. But yeah, I don't know. There's just something about this new stylus set that makes it not as fun to open anymore. Like, you get more bulk cards, but that's literally it. It's like, haha, yay.
The
what am I
bulk
gonna
doesn't do a lot for anyone.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
I got 4 boxes over there that are complete proof of this.
Man, I feel you, because like I opened up a case of Genesis Impact. I opened up a bunch of Toon Chaos, and I'm not looking forward to having to find another way to stash all of my my bulk. But,
Yeah, it's getting too much. Penny stocks aren't doing anything anymore.
yeah. It's because the only people that this helps, I feel, are those mystery lot sellers. You know, like get 20 cards, all in rare and above. I'm like, oh great, I'm opening up a booster and a half of ancient Guardians.
Well, let's say here goes that Ignition Assault lot. Yeah, great.
Yeah. Anyway, Nova, what were you gonna say?
I'm interested about what reprints we're going to see in Ancient Guardians.
Mm-hmm.
Because Reptile stuff for Abyss makes sense. There's a lot of stuff is out of print for a while, and it'll fit for there. Do-Re-Mi chords will be just generic pendulum stuff, maybe a few fairy things sprinkled in. Earth's Arctic, though, is weird, because it's a Beast Warrior set that's a synchro specific level modulation. What in the world does that need? Are they going to reprint Phantom Beast, Horn of the Phantom Beast or something? Like, what? It's with Earth's Arctics. I'm so confused, and I'm looking forward to see what they add.
Me too.
I will say on the page on Konami's description of Ancient Guardians, it says Ancient Guardians will also include classic cards for pendulum strategies like Luster Pendulum, Draco Slayer. So I guess we're getting Draco stuff.
Oh boy.
Yay.
Draco's.
Maybe we'll get an
maybe they'll
awkward
just build a
Mother Grizzly alternate art.
Oh man.
Bruh.
The Archfiend guy has entered the chat and says,
I mean, it
Astral
works.
Language Snake Rain.
Hey.
That'd be cool.
Yo,
Astral Language Snake Rain would be the bomb.
Snake.
My hot take: collector's rare, Astral rare print stat.
There you go. There you go.
I don't care if it's a number card. Get it? I want Chaos Emperor Dragon, Astral. I want, Judgment Dragon, Astral. Get it in there.
That'd be sick.
That would.
Yeah.
That'd be very sick.
But anyway, shall we move
Maximum
on to...
Astral rarity deck.
Oh my god.
Cost 20,000 on the Yu-Gi-Oh market.
Holy crap. Can you imagine how many times you'd have to open up a reference thing just to remember what your card does? It's like,
Oh boy, I could not live.
Here's
that
my
life.
translation.
You just hand your opponent a binder, here's my reference guide. Watch me go off.
Oh boy, now I don't know where I left them.
that looked thicker than a Dungeons and Dragons campaign book. Oh my god.
Oh boy, you should have played back in 3.5. You need a whole library to play that game.
Oh yeah.
It's nuts.
The Pathfinder person? Yeah.
And anyway,
Where are my
guys,
33?
shall we move on into what this episode is named after?
All right.
No. We have to
JC's
talk
not
about-
ready.
Oh, what do we have to talk
A
about?
machine that is also a dinosaur.
Oh, yeah.
That is very near and dear to someone's heart that we have here today.
Searchable by Fossil
I
Dick.
think they
Absolutely ridiculous.
I hate it. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
the Scrap Engine, thanks to Scraptor or Scrap Raptor, I guess is the actual card name, is the engine is crazy. I think I want to say I've narrowed it down to a 21 card solid engine, and that's just main deck. If you want your one normal summon for the deck, to end you on a Link 2 monster with 2 other spare materials to do whatever you want. And one of those materials can be a 200 mini you can go into Halka Firebrax combo if you really want to off of 1 card, which you can search with 6 different cards. 9 different cards. Sorry. Yeah, it's bonkers.
So there's Fossil Dig. There's the Scrap Searcher. What's the other 3?
So it's Scrapyard, it's Fossil Dig, which will get you into your Dino, and then your Dino searches Recycler. Recycler is your actual card that you need for the combo. So you can open up either Dino or Scrap Recycler himself. It used to be way less consistent. So you went from 3 copies to 12. It's ridiculous. But the consistency boost, it's parallel to Prank Kids, but not as intimidating at the end, I guess. But I mean, what testing is heavily, and this is going to be a mouthful: Scrap, Machina, PK, Orcus. Build that actually works.
Holy crap!
The board on 7 disruptions and a calamity setup. If that helps.
You say the name of that deck, and those are all names that I like PK, Orcus.
Yep.
Okay, fine. Machina, delicious. But you put them all together, and it just hits my forehead, just slides off. Like, that's too big brain for me. I can't deal with that.
You know the best part? There's only 2 Machina cards and 5 PK cards, but they're all completely essential to the deck. I'm going to be releasing a profile here soon at a combo tutorial, because it baffles me how well this deck works. And the fact that it can, if it goes uninterrupted, is 6 to 7 disruptions and a calamities. Everything about it is just absolutely disgusting and mind-boggling.
Jesus,
I
can't.
I need a different name for that. Can you please just call it Chop Shop? Can you just make that the deck name so that I can just remember that?
That works for me.
Or JC's Blender.
Yeah. There's no water involved, people. No water. First thing about the entire deck, with the exception of Gearsu the Orcus Mech Knight, the entire thing is budget. Like, it's probably under $50 if you get the right versions.
That's hilarious. I love it.
It's ridiculous. Well, okay, that has yet to be determined, I guess, because of Scrap Raptor. That will be like the actual definer of whether or not this deck is going to be budget. But
Chase, secret. Chase, secret. Chase, secret.
Oh my god.
as long as they don't give it the ghost rare treatment where they make it to where that, like, it's a collector's rare and that's all you can get it in. They do that, I am actually quitting Yu-Gi-Oh! Forever.
Oh my god.
It was nice knowing you, seeing you, man. It was good. Good interview.
And now we just over here like, ooh, money ideas? I like it. So I guess your guys' thoughts on the entire engine, on like how you think it plays. I know it takes up a lot of space for what it does, but I think it's really worth it.
So I was really interested, and then you lost me when you gave me the name, because I just don't have enough brain space to remember.
That's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, I'll definitely watch the combo video once you post it up.
All right, sweet. Yeah, no, it's yeah. Words can't describe how dumb it is.
No, that's some Fooly Cooly level of just flattening my brain out every time I hear it. So I gotta get my eyes on that.
Yeah, be thankful you guys don't play games with Team Chaos Stream, because anything he does with deck building, he has a Gandora deck that like it hurts me every time I watch him play it.
Dank sends me like deck profiles on Discord. He just sends them to me, and everyone I look at, I'm like, I feel like I just cracked open some kind of Eldritch novel. Like, this makes sense. I don't think I can comprehend
and the man like
it as a human.
refuses to make videos. I'm like, what are you doing? This is crazy.
Oh man.
This power that he just like, it holds him back. It just drains everything out of him that he can't do anything else.
The maddest of lads.
Pretty much. He's like
I think my favorite part about. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. You're good. I was just making a joke.
Oh no, I just didn't hear you.
Oh, I was just saying Dank is like my Yassine, so it's all good.
I was just gonna say the only thing that I can about Scrap Raptor, because again, too big brain for me, but I'm excited that it's Scrap Raptor in the OCG based on like the translation. We've colloquially called it Scraptor, and I'm very excited for Scraptocerosaurus to release in the TCG once it gets
oh boy, Scraptosaurus Rex.
Oh man.
Oh, that's gonna be a god awful translation. I'm waiting for it now because I didn't even think about that. It's gonna be so bad.
Scrap dinosaur! Exclamation mark.
Get the for hire guy on that one. That's
Yeah,
prime.
Oh boy, prime real. It's free real estate. Come on.
Oh man. Anyway, before we move on to the next topic, and I believe it's the last topic of the night, Fat Guy Yugioh says it reminds him of his first deck when he got back into the game, invoked Dino ABC. Okay.
Oh,
you had me at invoked
wow.
Dino, and then you lost me at ABC.
So the sad thing is, this scrap engine works with ABC too. It has been tested. It's not as good, but it does work, and I hate it too. Thanks very much.
Oh my god. Anyway, guys. So we have received some reveals for the next core set that's coming out after Lightning Overdrive, and I forgot what it's called. I honestly forgot what the name of the set is called.
To the Dawn of Majesty.
The Dawn of Majesty.
Oh, Dawn of Majesty. Okay.
And yeah, it's basically Yusei Duelist Pack, whatever last Duelist Pack he had +1. So, what do you guys think?
I'll let you gentlemen go first.
Same, because I forgot what they do.
So Majestic Star Dragon occupies this very weird place in card design. Because a game that's primarily based on a television show. The idea of building up how synchros work, it's like, okay, first it's two monsters coming together, and then now it's, okay, you have one specific tuner that you have to blend multiple monsters into to make something, was really cool visually. And then you pull, as our progression series overlords will tell us, pulling go feels really crappy because you're never going to summon it, no matter how good the effect is, because it requires like 8 different steps to put together for a mediocre effect. But that's like, it's unique. That's a part of the game's history. It's bad, but it showed that it was okay for the anime to make real life cards. And then you have people who make like mad scientist decks. Like, okay, my whole goal is to put Majestic Star Dragon as easily as possible. I might not win, but I will have the weirdest combo. Then they print Converging Wishes and ruin all of it. Ruin is too much of a word, but it's essentially just, it auto makes Majestic Star Dragon in any deck that can make.
Oh no.
And I'm worried because the original Majestic Star Dragon requires the specific tuner, Stardust Dragon, and then a level 1 non-tuner on top of that. I don't think it specified that, but the way the levels worked, it didn't. It had to be 1. Mm-hmm. But Majestic Shooting Star Dragon is just the specific tuner, which the new tuner they make changes its name to that, and then 1 or more non-tuners, including a Synchro Dragon. So you could have. I don't know what deck is going to slot that in right now, because if you're running Borreload Savage Dragon, then you're kind of just okay with ending on a Savage Dragon. And if you're playing some kind of deck that makes Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, you're okay with sitting on that too. But if you have something that's like, I end on Power Tool Dragon, and then get the free card, and then use that as material to make an Omni Negator and a multi-attacker, that's going to be scary.
So the sad thing is, I actually know exactly where this is going to go, and I'm glad I held on to my card now. This is going to be entirely for the Chaos Ruler Dragon. The level 8 Dark, it's going to be him.
No.
It's 100% going to be him. He's a free extender in every sense of the means. God. It's going to be this guy. Like, there's no other way. This is going to be the next Dragon Link strategy, is just turboing this out. Because I honestly didn't realize it was that generic now. But yeah, it's going to be the Chaos Ruler, because then you're just going to get your tuner from the top of the deck, send what you need to the graveyard, and just, yeah, extend. It's dumb.
Oh, man. I sold all of mine. Crap.
Yeah, I'm holding on to one copy right now. I kind of wish I kept the others, but I'm still holding on to it. I'm really glad I am now, because I did not know that.
I saw like El Exordio did like one of those gameplay videos for it, and he showed that the effect that the level 1 that one Dragon Link level 1 dragon that searches you another dragon of another type that you have.
Brotar, yeah.
Yeah, it summons Brotar. Like, are you kidding me?
So you're telling me I just get a tutor for a tutor to tutor into more tutors because Dragon Link?
Absolutely, it's coming back, folks.
No, tier 1.
We're doing it all over again.
All right, at least it's not an FTK. I can live with that part at least.
Okay, fair. But yeah, that's what I'm worried about. If your deck is already making level 8 or higher dragons, the amount of cards you have to add to make it work is almost nothing.
Don't challenge me down, like sir. I will make it happen in Prank Kids. Do not challenge me.
Challenge accepted. Show me its power.
Right. I will try.
Go ahead.
Will try my best.
But that's all I've got to say on it. What are you?
I have 2 things. They'll be quick, probably. Stardust Synchron is very cute. I think the design is very cute and awesome. And a little backstory. One Christmas, the Christmas that the Majestic Stardust Dragon tin came out, my mom got me one, and then my aunt got me one. Complete accident, of course, that they got the same tin. And I was, devastated. Within reason, of course, I was happy. There were packs inside, all that, but I was like, I can't do anything with this, just as Nova described. That's definitely like anime to the max. Like, you can't really build it unless you're focusing on it. So all I can say is I'm very ready for this set to come. I have been preparing for a very long time. Too long. all the cards are coming together perfectly. So yes, that's all I have to say, is that I'm waiting.
Awesome. And
patiently, as I have been. So what are your thoughts? Jello, have you been able to read the cards and kind of get a mindset, or do you want to pass it over to Havre right now?
I have been reading some of the cards, but being somebody who just got back into the game last year and having probably 10 years worth of cards to catch up on, Stardust, Akiza, I'm good. That's all I need. And, yeah, that's all I got to say. Take it away, Chris.
Hey, fair enough. So, yeah, my buddy from the deck has been playing this, and I saw like the pure version of the deck, and he actually managed to have a 1-card comeback. Luckily, like drawing the level 1 tuner off the top of the deck, getting that special summon, all that stuff, was able to make a comeback going into the Majestic Star Dragon off of just 1 card. So seeing that off the bat is already not a good sign to me. Keep in mind, he did have a graveyard established. He had like resources to play with, but for the most part, it was just a 1-card combo. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, you are telling me this powerful of a card is this free in a deck that has been irrelevant since its release?
Jeez.
It was mind-boggling to watch. Like, that was just the pure version. I don't even want to see what kind of janky stuff people are going to invent along the line. Seeing what they've already done with just normal Dragon Link, or even like Blue Eyes, or people find a way. They always do. I don't. It bothers me. But then again, I play Prank Kids with just about every card under the sun, so I don't have much room to talk.
All right.
So yeah.
Okay. Any closing remarks? Because I believe that's everything. Unless we want to bring up Scrap Raptor again. I've just been constantly forgetting about it. Yes, Nova.
Stardust Akiza is Bay. I want to just go along with.
Thank you.
That's a good point that you made, and I want to make sure that everyone knows
Fair.
that that's the case.
Thank you. All right, man. I
mean, if I can find it, go ahead while I'm looking. I will find it.
At the beginning of the chat, Fat Guy and Golden Nova were singing Take Me Home, Starlight Road, and it made me want to go get my guitar and sing it right now.
Oh
but,
boy.
man.
Please.
You got a second while I'm looking through my small bulk here.
All right.
Not really bulk.
I'm gonna go get my guitar.
Actually, yeah, that's
Oh, I found it. Okay.
good.
Okay, I'm gonna go get my guitar. I don't know how to play. There's just a guitar in my
So
apartment,
I don't have my drum set anymore, and I'm definitely not skilled enough to join you guys. So have fun. I have no musical talent whatsoever. But while you're waiting, chat, if you want a small moment of entertainment, I don't know what good this information's gonna. 33 copies of Common Wing Karibo. So do with that what you will, guys. It's on the table. Correction, they're in my hands. But yeah, there's 33 copies of the Wing Karibo boy here. Just so y'all know.
Oh my god, you're holding Shiggy's dual spirit captive. Come on.
Yes. These are actually from the raffle. These were from that raffle.
Oh my god.
I am like the biggest Hero fan that I know, or Jane Yuki fan I know, and to get 33 Wing Karibos, I don't know what I'm gonna do with them, but they are my spirit animals. They chill here all the time.
Absolutely powerful.
Okay, so I forgot how Country Roads goes. I'm gonna have to think.
Gotta go give it a listen.
Look up the tabs. This is Majestic.
Serenade.
Okay. Almost heaven.
Folks,
West Virginia.
no, never mind, you're going.
Blue Ridge Mountain, something river. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountain, blowing like a breeze. Country road, Starlight Road, take me home to the place I go beyond Neo Domino City. I synchro summon Starlight Road. Take me home. Yeah.
Hey! Yeah!
Oh my god.
That was fun.
That's the thing I didn't know I needed.
Jesus. Oh my god.
Go give this man your support. Wow. That was so extra. I love it. I love every second of it. Thank you, Joe. That was perfect.
Man, I had to take it out at some point. But follow me on
You
Spotify.
took everyone home for the end of the stream.
Oh man. But
Oh,
anyway,
boy.
guys, are there any last parting words that you have with the audience? Any shameless plugs that you wanna plug? I don't know what else. I don't know how else you can plug something.
Go check out Yugioh Synthesis, please.
Yes,
Go check
please.
out
That's
Yugioh
the whole reason we were here. Yes. Watch this man's stuff and I'm completely unbiased. I have no connection with this whatsoever.
If you guys like
Anyway,
Yu-Gi-Oh,
yeah.
if you like Sherlock, if you like murder, if you like any of that stuff, go watch or go listen to Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah,
Synthesis.
if you
You're
like
set.
murder, not if you like murdering. That's a completely different thing. All right. What about Nova and JC? Do you guys
Like
have anything
murder. Gosh, now all I want is Casual Card Gamer's cover album of music that wasn't meant to duel by that you can now duel by. I'm looking. I want that.
So what do we got? We got Country Roads. We got Sweet Home Alabama. What else we got, boys? Probably Thunderstruck, of course. Let's get going on this.
Oh man,
I want to see this happen.
Thunderstruck song would go crazy.
I want to see this happen. I know it's not going to, but it'd be cooler if you did.
Not with that attitude.
Hey, I know a place where you can put the music too. Just saying.
Oh yeah, I could. If there's ever like an episode where they go out into the country, like how every anime strictly needs to have like a beach episode. And,
Yep.
like we're going into the mountains for no reason episode.
Yep, pretty much. I actually have one of those. So thanks for calling me out as a writer, but it's not a filler. At least it's not filler.
Please tell me you're referencing Cromartie High School with that. I need that to be the case.
Never seen it.
No, there's this. It's just this comedy anime, and like as they're going between scenes, there's just this one where there's a guy with a guitar. And it's like, now we're strumming a guitar in the mountains. Wait a sec, This is a non sequitur. Then it just cuts right back in. So I'm like, oh.
I love that. I live for that kind of stuff.
All right, JC, do you have any last moment plugs?
I watch these guys. I don't have many plugs right now. I'm working on things as I usually do, but it's at a snail's pace. So maybe the next podcast I'll have something to plug. But for now, I will plug my friends because Synthesis is something that is very unique and definitely is. If you support it as early as possible, that means it can really hit the ground running even more than it already has been, which is always good. Especially we should definitely. Dumb little card game universe that we all enjoy, and get Nova to 5,000 subscribers. Check out his most recent video to find out why. There's a little intrigue there. You know, I'm whetting the appetite, but you got Jello to 5,000 subscribers also because I am on there with the out of the box, so that alone should bring them all, of course, with my amazing misplays. So that a little comedy for you guys to watch. So that's my, and of course thank you to the chat, everyone that was here today. Of course I always appreciate that as well. But that's my little closing statement. How about you, Jello?
This is the hard part with going last. Everything has already been said, but make sure that you guys go and subscribe to all 4 of us on all platforms. Make sure you check out Yugioh Synthesis, and on our side of the thing, make sure that you stay tuned for next Tuesday when Game 4 of Out of the Box Arc 2 comes out. If you guys haven't watched it already. A bit of a spoiler, but please go and watch it anyway. JC, Nova, and I all finished on a 1-1 record in the first half, so it'll be really interesting to see how the rest of you react to the second half, because we already know what happens. But stay tuned for that. Zero to Hero will be coming up in the next 2 weeks. Hopefully. I found I already did the opening half of the video. I just need to film the deck profile part because I lost all of my I didn't lose them. I misplaced all of the bulk that I keep on the side for Zero to Hero, but I found it a couple of days ago, so I just have to film that. And my How to Yu-Gi-Oh How to Vanguard Part 2. I've been saying this for like almost a month now, but I finally have everything ready to go. All I have to do is click a button and start recording everything. And maybe if I can figure something out, I will have like a very short parody song video on Twitter of Starlight Road, but we'll see how that goes. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, I am Jelly the Casual Card Gamer. This over here is GoldenNovaYugioh. Down here is Havre Card Man and JC Theater YGO. Diagonal from me, and you guys are now
in
you know.
Okay.
Very well coordinated.
As always.
Perfect execution.
Every time, perfect landing. 10 out of 10.